padan sadhana dalita Sri Vishakhan Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vanamali, Govinda, Prabhu ji, Dandat Pranams. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
That's his photograph, Prabhu.
No, Prabhu is today's speaker, Mataji.
Yeah. No, but what is projected there is his photograph, I think, not himself.
He is there.
Now he has come. Now he is.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranams.
Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam. Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhuji, happy to see you again.
Hare Krishna, I'm also happy here. I just was in DT worship. I became 2 minutes late.
Okay, no problem. Hare Krishna devotees, Danvat Pranams to all. We welcome all of you for the today's morning program, Nityam Bhagavatha Sevaya. And today we are fortunate to have His Grace Vanamali Govinda Prabhu, and he will enlighten us on Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 1st chapter, verse 37. Over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Venkatraman Reddy Prabhu, thank you to welcome all the devotees, and it's a pleasure to be with all of you from Suratkal. So we'll recite, sing prayers and recite a sloka. This is a prose, it is not a verse, so it will be difficult to recite. So I will just recite it as a reading way only, and then we'll read the purport and word-to-word meaning translation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama-shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So today we'll discuss from 5th chapter, first shloka, 37th verse. So this is a section as Maharaj Priyavrata has already done the creation as per the instructions of Lord Brahma, and very magnificently. And this is the consciousness which he has after creating that, which is very nice lessons for us to learn. Aho asadva anushtitam yad abhiniveshitoham indriyair avidya rachita vishama vishayandhakupe tad alam alam amushyavanitaya vinoda mrigam magadhig iti garhayam chakara. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanarvind, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Do we read the word to word meaning also, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Aho, alas. Asadhu, not good. Anushtitam, executed. Yat, because. Abhiniveshita, being completely absorbed. Aham, I. Indriyai, for sense gratification. Avidya, by nescience. Rachita, made. Vishama, causing distress. Vishaya, sense gratification. Andhakupa, kupe, in the dark well. Tat, that. Alam, insignificant. Alam, of no importance. Amushya, of that. Vanitayah, wife. Vinoda mrigam, just like a dancing monkey. Mam, unto me. Dik, all condemnation. Dik, all condemnation. Iti, thus. Garhayam, criticism. Chakara, he did. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The king thus began criticizing himself. Alas, how condemned I have become because of my sense gratification. I have now fallen into material enjoyment, which is exactly like a covered well. I have had enough. I am not going to enjoy anymore. Just see how I have become like a dancing monkey in the hands of my wife. Because of this, I am condemned. Purport. How condemned is the advancement of material knowledge can be understood from the behavior of Maharaj Parikshit. Maharaj Priyavrata. He performed such wonderful acts as creating another sun, which shined during the night, and creating a chariot so great that its wheels formed vast oceans. These activities are so great that modern scientists cannot even imagine how such things can be done. Maharaj Priyavrata acted very wonderfully in the material field of activities, but because he was dealing in sense gratification, ruling his kingdom and dancing to the indications of his beautiful wife, he personally condemned himself. When we think about this example of Maharaj Priyavrata, we can just consider how degraded is the modern civilization of materialistic advancement. Modern so-called scientists and other materialists are very satisfied because they can construct great bridges, roads, machines, but such activities are nothing comparable to those of Maharaj Priyavrata. If Maharaj Priyavrata could condemn himself in spite of his wonderful activities, how condemned we are in our so-called advancement of material civilization. We can conclude that such advancement has nothing to do with the problems of the living entity entangled within this material world. Unfortunately, modern man does not understand his entanglement and how condemned he is. nor does he know what kind of body he is going to have in the next life. From a spiritual point of view, a great kingdom, beautiful wife, and wonderful material activities are all impediments to spiritual advancement. Maharaj Priyavrata had served the great sage Narada sincerely. Therefore, even though he had accepted material opulences, he could not be deviated from his own task. He again became Krishna conscious, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Neha Bhikrama Nashosti Pratyavayo na vidyate Swalpam apiyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. In devotional service, there is no loss or diminution. And even a small service rendered in devotional life is sufficient to save one from the greatest danger. Such renunciation as Maharaja Priyavrata's is possible only by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Generally, when people are powerful or when they have a beautiful wife, a beautiful home, and material popularity, they become more and more entangled. Priyavrata Maharaj, however, having been completely trained by the great sage Narada, revived his Krishna consciousness in spite of all impediments. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So very wonderful purport and lessons for us to learn. Amazing golden purport of Prabhupada. We'll start with prayers. Om Agyan Timirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam Pangum langayate girim Yat kripa tamaham mande Shri Guru Vinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyeshwaram Hare Krishna. So very happy and blessed to be amongst all the senior devotees assembled online, and I wish and I pray that I can keep serving in some way to all the devotees, especially in this Bhagavatam class. I feel my mood should be that how I can be in good association with all the devotees yet staying in Suratkal and for the pleasure of the Vaishnavas. for the pleasure of the Lordships, Shri Shri Radha Vinod, Shri Shri Jagannath Balbhadra Subhadramai, Shri Shri Nita Gaur Sundar Nityananda Natwar, and Srila Prabhupada. So, very nice verse, and 2-3 points which come out from this purpose are very relevant for us. And whatever I have heard from my spiritual teachers, I would like to repeat it in Parampara. Number one is how Priyavrata Maharaj is demonstrating, or Srila Prabhupada is extracting the point of detachment from his materialistic endeavors, magnificent materialistic endeavors. That how detached is Priyavrata Maharaj in spite of great achievements. What to speak of bridges and all, but he has done created sun and oceans. And second point is that how training of spiritual master saves one from material entanglement. So these 2 points will be the focus of our discussion today. Learning the art of detachment, or how to have this consciousness of renounced temperament while performing our materialistic duties, while endeavoring materialistically, so-called as a devotee, as a sadhaka. And what saves, what is the key factor in this is Guru's training, Guru's mercy, following his instructions. So here we can see that Srila Prabhupada is telling that we should learn from Priyavrata Maharaj that how much more condemned is our life. If Priyavrata Maharaj is feeling that my life is condemned, then those who are endeavoring materially, we should understand that we are in much more precarious condition in case we are also thinking of materialistic advancement. So one question before we just start off with the discussion of renounce mentality or detached spirit, that is social media good or bad? Is technology good or bad? We send our children to modern schools. Is it good or bad? We have to make them study also. At the same time, we have to take care that they don't get materialistically entangled. We have to have some, so there is a question. Or we have good facilities at our home. Is it good or bad? Let us hear from few devotees in chat message that what is our answer. Okay. Radharani Sumukhi Mataji said it is good also and bad also. Very nice. Any more answer? Depends. Yeah. So this is a typical answer. Depends on how we use. If we use it for Krishna's service, as Prabhupada tells, the microphone can be material or spiritual, but depends how we use. But my question now is that, is it really, if we use it for spiritual benefit, spiritual service, it remains spiritual? What is the probability that we will use it for Krishna's service, given the condition that we are exposed to the material world more? Now, our sadhana time, maybe morning 3-4 hours, chanting 2 hours, Mangalarti. But how much more are we exposed to the material world? 8 hours work time, and then with relatives, and even in our services, we have to interact with so many materialistic people. So the ratio of our interaction with the material world is much more than directly spiritual activity. So, and when the sadhana goes down, when we are not at our par, which happens sometimes, then it becomes really risky. So the same, yes, Ashok Atma Prabhu is also telling, as long as for spiritual growth, technology is important. So now the question comes, very good. All of you have very rightly told, and as which is the normally discussed point, that it depends. It's like a knife, double-edged sword. But the point here is that how much we are likely to use it for spiritual purpose and how much we are likely to use for material purpose as a sadhak. What are the factors depending on how much we will use it for spiritual purpose? Venkatraman Reddy Prabhu is sharing now that there is a less probability for spiritual purpose. It may not be for everybody, but we have to see based on our own contemplation that chances. Srila Prabhupada used to pray very fervently to Radharani, please save me from Maya. As an Acharya, he was setting an example that how careful we should be being in this material world in a dangerous position. Padam padam yad vipadam hitesham. It's like a walking on a razor's edge. Anytime there will be cut and there will be bleeding. So yes, we should not be fearful. We should be very, very hopeful of Krishna's mercy. We should be very, very proud that we are connected to ISKCON movement and our future is bright till the time we are connected and following the rules and regulations. But at the same time, with a careful note, as far as we are in a conditioned stage that we can anytime succumb to lower nature. And the very nature of this material world is to pull a sadhaka down. And Maya works more, appears to be working more. I was hearing my Guru Maharaj that as a sadhaka progresses further in his spiritual life, the spiritual progress appears more and more difficult. As we grow up, we have to take care of our own self and others also. So, when we come very new in ISKCON, we are very nicely taken care. We are very nicely guided in yatras, how to put tilak, how to balance health, family. But as we grow, we have to be on our own. We have to balance our own self and help others also balance. Sometimes the devotee care aspect becomes less for senior devotees. And it is more meant for the newcomers and growing devotees. So then there is all the chance that our sadhana may get slackened and we may tend to use the same assets which we have, not so spiritually. That is what is the area of concern. Here, Maharaj Priyavrata is setting a very high standard. There is all the chance of becoming proud and becoming a controller and having a satisfaction. Like once I heard from a senior devotee that my Guru Maharaj, I am doing the service for the pleasure of my Guru Maharaj. And we may feel after doing it for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year that it is because of me that Guru Maharaj is able to execute the services over here. May not be externally, we may not be speaking, but internally a thought will come. This area is under my jurisdiction. After all, I am the Karta and Harta. And we may become so much attached that without me, it may not happen. Or I am doing a favor to my spiritual master. That may be a consciousness. It happens sometimes. Some devotees share that. And even for me, or sometimes it has been a situation that, wow, I'm doing something in Suratkar. That thought may come. So then, the idea is this, that we should have a consciousness that Guru Maharaj has not given the service to me, or I am not doing a favor to him. He has done a favor to me by doing this service. That was the consciousness of Priyavrata when he accepted to become the king. He would have continued his brahmachari life, his meditation, and well rejected. But the spirit with which he agreed to follow the instructions of Lord Brahma was very, very appreciated by Srila Prabhupada here. And the training received by Narad Muni. Both the things, the training which he received by Narad Muni is glorified in this purport, and his submission to his authority. Lord Brahma came and requested. So both of the things are very much worthy for us to learn, that we have to keep our own personal agendas aside, and we have to bring in the forefront Guru, and through Guru our spiritual authorities, desires and wishes which we need to dedicate for. And because taking up such services, it may be tough service, it may be a simple service. Recently, when we went to Vrindavan, His Holiness Chandramauli Swami Maharaj was telling that knowledge is so important. Reading Prabhupada books is so important for a higher taste. But if one is doing services and getting relishment and taste, it is much more better, because he's applying the knowledge. He's on one stage higher. But still knowledge is important, because in service also Maya is there. How to do the service? What are the restrictions? What is the extent? In what way we have to execute? What are the etiquettes to be? So knowledge is always very important. So here Narad Muni has trained Maharaj Priyavrat so nicely in sadhana, in the spiritual practices, and the spirit, the service attitude towards authority is so nice, so glorious. These two factors are saving Maharaj Priyavrata from becoming a controller, becoming attached to the creations which he has done. So the attachment is not only to our possessions, material possessions. The attachment can be to our own services, to our own area of prescribed duties. Like instead of helping the subordinates under us, we may try to control over them. We may try to boss over them. Or we may become so much attached that we may neglect our sadhana just to produce some results. And nobody will see sadhana, how much sadhana we are doing, but everybody will see the service, because service will be rewarded. For sadhana, for reading Bhagavatam, for chanting attentively, no reward is there. But for service, for creating more number of, there is generally the tendency that may be there, because it is seen externally. Wow, so many followers, so many expansion of project. So there is a tendency to get attached in this spirit. So we can learn from Vidura that how Vidura had a renounced temperament. Prabhupada writes in the purport that the moment Duryodhana chastised him, spoke bad words, insulting words, you are eating here and you are going against us. You live with only your breath. So there was, if Vidura was attached, he would have justified, he would have counteracted, but the temperament was renounced that, okay, this is an opportunity for me to go for a pilgrimage and do Krishna Katha, which was anyway his whole idea. So this renounced temperament has to be there in our services, which is very, very crucial for making it a devotional service, on maintaining its purity. Again, we can learn from Kardama Muni, very a nice lesson, that Kardama Muni was such a great ascetic, an austere sage, and he had a desire to get married, and Prabhupada mentions that this was a material desire. Not that marriage is a materialistic thing, but this desire of having a wife was kind of a materialistic desire, Prabhupada mentions in the purport. But because of his spiritual practices and advancement, he entered the Grahastha life with an exit plan. He requested the father of his to-be wife, Devahuti, that I will quit the home and live to forest when the son is born, after giving her a son. So always the spiritual goal, the idea in a sadhaka is very, very strong. Unless that goal is not very strong, there is again chances to get deviated in our endeavors. So Kardama Muni's goal was very strong. He knew where he wanted to go. So there was no much chance for his distraction. And very, very truly, as soon as Kapil Dev was born, he left the home. There also Maya did not attract, or, oh, now the Lord himself has come, let me now stay here only. Prabhupada writes again there that he is going in spite of Lord coming. How is it justified? No, he is setting an example that a Grahastha has to be detached, and when his spiritual materialistic duties are done, so-called materialistic prescribed duties, he has to keep spiritual thing in the foreground, and that is why he lives in spite of Kapil Dev coming. So there is no room for giving any excuses. He is setting a very nice example. And as soon as Devahuti requested that, oh, I have served, she became very thin. She very nicely served Kardama Muni in her spiritual practices. And sure enough, he, at the request of Devahuti, he made a very palatial house on the aircraft and enjoyed with her for years together. He did his duty. But Devhuti is now lamenting. See the advancement of Devhuti. Devhuti was no ordinary person either. She was a daughter of a king. And she is lamenting, alas, I had such a great spiritual husband with so much spiritual qualities, and I have used him for sense gratification. I could have made so much use of him for my spiritual advancement. And she ends up lamenting. So, because she had a renounced temperament, she was trained, and she, very fact that she married Kardamuni for her spirit, for his spiritual stature, brought Devhuti back. So, it is example is given, a very simple example, that let us say where we are going from Bangalore to Mysore in train, and there is wine, very nice Maddur vada which is being sold at outside the train, not inside. The person is waiting there, garam garam Maddur vade, and we are sitting hungry inside the train. Obviously, as a devotee, we don't take, but let us say some non-devotee, he is getting attracted, and he goes out to purchase the Maddur vade, and he gets absorbed with the smell of the hot Maddur vade, and in the attempt to buy it and gratify it, the moment he turns around, the train has gone. So the train represents our spiritual journey. Madhur Vade represents the sense gratification. So yeah, regulated sense gratification is recommended, but not unregulated. Here the person kind of went into unregulated. He did not keep an eye on the train. But a more intelligent person, he will sit inside the train and call the Madhur Vade person, come here, give me, so that his train is secure. So that goal has to be secure. We may do a regulated engagement of our senses, but not at the cost of our goal. And that requires good training and good guidance from very senior devotees. So Maharaj Priyavrat had good training. Kardamumuni had good spiritual practices. He entered with an exit plan. Similarly, in our endeavors, we have to have a very strong boundary that what is recommended and what can be detrimental. And for that, we have to have very good guide whom we are open. We can open our heart and ask questions, and he should be there to guide at any time. We should be like completely transparent to him about our thought process, and then we can get good guidance from him. So one small example which I would like to share here is of once one of our devotee in ICC only, Grahastha devotee, he asked His Holiness Jai Advait Swami Maharaj probably very long back, 2016. So the question was, Maharaj, how much money should I save so that I can retire, keeping in mind my health concerns, my bodily concerns, because there will be hospital bills and all. So how much money should I save? What is the guideline? That was his question. And I was very impressed with Maharaj's answer, that he did not tell a particular amount, 1 lakh or 2 lakh or 1 crore. But his answer was that you are worried about your body, and soul is more important than the body. So how much more should we worry about the soul after retirement? And that was his answer. In essence, he did not give a sum, but he told, whatever you do, save, but make sure you save more for the soul. That means our endeavor of making sure and safeguarding our soul's journey should be given much more priority than that of the body. So yes, we don't neglect the body, but at the same time, we don't end up saving more for the body at the cost of our soul. Sometimes the youth devotees, they get a notion that let me first settle my career. And then once the career is set, when there is enough money at hand, then spiritual journey is there always. But in this process, they may get diverted, and then they lose the track. So it is never recommended, neither by Srila Prabhupada, that we first ensure our material career and then we endeavor for spiritual, because material world is very entangling. It can swallow us up. So Balaji Prabhu is writing, instead of sum, Maharaj gave the summum bonum. Thank you. Yeah. So, which was very inspiring for me, that how it was a very nice guideline that whatever may be the sum, make sure that our soul's journey is uh, ensured, safe. And then whatever time and energy and our material fortune is written, that much money we can save, not that we neglect it. Similarly, so this was one thing which I felt very apt over here, that Maharaj Priyavrata had this training and renounced spirit with which he could come back. He could not get diverted, even though the creations are so magnanimous. One can easily retire and be engaged, like how Angada. He was feeling that, oh, there is so much pleasure here. Let us retire here only. If we go back, Sugriva will chastise. We have not found Sita. But Hanuman was very much focused on the goal. He did not get into sense gratification. There were offers. The Mainaka Parvat was offering relaxation, that please take rest in your journey. But Hanuman was very rock solid, that I have to go, time is less. So from these personalities, we can learn that in our journey, there will be a lot of offers of sense gratification, but we have to keep telling no, 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 no. Like when you come out of railway station, there will be many auto fellows will come. Sir, Banshankari, Kumar Swami, sir, come. One fellow will tell no, another fellow will come. Because they want more money at the railway station. So we have to cross all these auto fellows and go outside the station where he will charge less money. So there we have to keep telling no, 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 no to sense gratification, which requires training. So it is very encouraged that one takes proper training as much as possible, whenever possible, and which will safeguard us to keep the fencing strong, not to get deviated into the material entanglement. Kunti Maharani prays, Janma Aishwarya Shruta Shri Edhamana Madah Puman Naivar Hatim Vadhatum Vai Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. This Janma, good birth, parentage, Janma Aishwarya, good opulence, material opulence, good wealth, Shru, good intelligence, and Shri, good beauty, are all obstacles in the spiritual journey. So it is not that okay, we disregard material opulence. We can use it in Krishna's service, but with a very, very strong caution that there is a tendency of this material opulence to sway us away from the spiritual, our goal. That is why one of the purport, I don't remember which exactly, but Srila Prabhupada tells that managing services are also very entangling, because one has a decision role, one is in a superior position, and unless one's sadhana is not very strong, the managerial services tend to sway away and make our consciousness or our access to lower nature prone, unless and until our sadhana is not strong. So this was reiterated by His Holiness Guru, not Guru Prasad Swami Maharaj, but in one more, I forget the name, not Lokeshwar, but one of the Maharajas, who basically what he was telling, in his brahmachari days, he was very scary or fearful to take up big services, leadership positions. He was always just outside Prabhupada's room doing menial services. But now he's a GBC. He has many very responsible services. But he tells, yes, one should take, but with a very great caution, because there is an entangling nature. Whether it is Lord Brahma, who is the creator, who can get bewildered by the Maya Shakti of the Lord, then what to speak of us? So one has to take services, no doubt, for the mission of Prabhupada, but with a careful note and with a strong sadhana. And immediately one should be careful in things if our sadhana is going slack, because then there is because we as a senior devotees, once one has 5 years, 10 years spent in Krishna consciousness, nobody will pinpoint and ask, is our sadhana going or not? Very rarely. So we have to be so much careful about our own self. If we don't do, then it will show out results in terms of getting distracted. And the service of Guru, pleasing the Guru, like here Priyavrat Maharaj has dedicated in serving the instructions of Brahma and has taken the training. So we should not be fearful in taking up tough services, because that is the way to success and get mercy. Sometimes when it is coming to our own personal sadhana and following the instructions of Guru and pleasing, that pleasing of a senior Vaishnava brings us more mercy than our own personal sadhana also. Not that we neglect our personal sadhana, but always an attitude should be there to serve and please the Vaishnavas, the seniors, because that will give us more mercy. Because the Lord Krishna is present in them, especially the pure devotees, Guru Maharajis, and the exalted Vaishnavas. When we endeavor, we take risk, like Prabhu Maharaj took risk, and he pleased Brahma. So that mercy will save us from this material entanglement more efficiently than our own personal sadhana. So in essence, we would like to summarize our brief discussion today. Uh, yeah. One more point I just forgot to mention, and then we'll take revision, is Raghunath Das Goswami. Raghunath Das Goswami also is feeling that I am doing sense gratification by drinking buttermilk once in 3 days. So this is not an artificial imitation or artificiality that he is feeling, but he is genuinely feeling this. Why he is feeling that he is doing sense gratification, even though he is drinking only once a buttermilk in 3 days? Because he is feeling so much grateful for the mercy which is receiving, that even a moment of sense gratification appears to be sense gratification, which is not apparently sense gratification, at least in our yardsticks, our standards. Gopis, they are blinking the eyes and they are cursing Brahma. Why you have created such eyelid, that they are not able to bear the separation of the blink of the eye. So the spiritual ecstasy, the higher taste which they are experiencing, is what is making them so humble and so grounded and so careful, that, oh, I am into sense gratification. Srivas Thakur, when he was blamed that you are worshipping Durga, Kali, that paraphernalia, and he accepted, just see, this is my stature, although he was such a great devotee, but he had no justification mentality, although it was very evident that the person is trying to trap him or defame him. So in our endeavors, if somebody is trying to find fault with us, if our spiritual stature is good, we will not try to justify unless until it is a very serious thing and managerial issue, and it has to be, clarification is demanded. We can just see that how this fault finding occasion can be taken as an improvement for us, like how Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur took for that blasphemer who used to blaspheme him outrightly as soon as he used to come out of the matha. And when he passed away, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur told, oh, who will correct me now? So this requires a great amount of sadhana and spiritual nourishment. Otherwise, we will take that fault finding thing as a fault finding. So this attitude can come with a strong sadhana, is what the point I was trying to make. So just quickly we'll revise that we focused on 2 points. The renounced temperament of Maharaj Priyavrata, not getting entangled in spite of this magnanimous creation. We discussed the example of Vidura. We discussed the example of how Jayadvait Swami Maharaj told on giving more importance to the soul in our journey, in our materialistic endeavors, and accordingly gauge our material endeavors, not to compromise the spiritual things. We also discussed about Kunti Maharani, telling that how this 4 material opulences, Janma, Ishwarya, Shruta, Shrivi, can be an impediment. And in brief, we discussed about the example of Devhuti and Kardama Muni, that he also was very firm in his spiritual practices, and that is how he was safeguarded of not getting entangled. And Devhuti herself had a lamentation that she could not make the best utilization because of her spiritual stature also. So when we are nicely spiritually nourished, then we will be remaining humble, and there is less chances that we'll get deviated in our endeavors, because the amount of time we spend with the material world compared to our 4 hours of sadhana on a daily basis is more. So we have to be extra cautious, and sometimes we take out time for yatra and recharge ourselves. And then we discussed about the guru, that satisfying guru's instructions, even though tough, Priyavrat Maharaj could please Lord Brahma, and his training, especially mentioned in this purport from Narad Muni, was so good that it helped him to come back. And whatever spiritual practices he did before taking the role of kingship, he could not get affected, because generally king means Vishaya, Vishayi, according to material standards. Maharaj Pratap Rudra was also avoided by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on these grounds, that king means money and sex. So he had taken not only the kingship but of the entire universe and created so magnanimous things. But still, because of his firm root, and something similar happens with Yamunacharya, that although he had spiritual practices before, but eventually he got deviated, but his spiritual practices brought him back on track. Also, Gajendra, from his past life of shloka recitation as Indradumna Maharaj, he was remembered of the shlokas, and eventually with his fight with crocodile, he could remember the shlokas. And Prabhupada writes in the purport, if one recites shlokas, it will be so deep impression in the mind that even in the next life it can be help to regain that consciousness. So with that, I will pause my discussion. I hope I have not spoken anything out of my adhikar, and if something beneficial has done, then it is the mercy of our parampara and devotees. Thank you very much. Venkatraman Reddy, over to you for if there is any discussion or questions.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful thing. Till now, I heard of like art of living and art of dying, but you have talked about art of detachment, and how always Guru's training and mercy helps us. And at the end, you have nicely summarized everything, and you have given a lot of examples also, like how to be detached and all those things, like Vidra example and Kardamuni and Devoti example, even Raghunath Das Goswami example. And at the end, like you have talked about Yunacharya and Indradumna Maharaj, Gajendra examples, very wonderful, Prabhuji. So devotees' slides are already unmuted, so devotees can unmute and ask any questions. Hare Krishna.
If there are no questions, we can have some reflection or addition or comments also, so that we can
Vanamali Govinda Prabhu.
Danvat Pranam Prasadeshwar Prabhu ki jai.
Dandavat Prabhu. All the nectar coming from Suratkal. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, so nice. Your Madhur Vada example is really apt for me. Thank you for that.
Any comments, Prasadeshwar Prabhu? Any additions?
Wonderful, Prabhu. So nice. Very nicely presented.
Some feedbacks you can give. You are so experienced and on the field more.
You are perfect personality. Nothing, Prabhu, as of now. Sure.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Mataji.
Prabhu, you in the beginning you told no, he has created the second sun. There was little controversy. I mean, he follows the sun. What exactly is that second sun? I'm not able to get that.
The creation of the sun?
Yes, sir.
Whether it is a second sun or the original sun, you are asking, Mataji?
Or it's something he does so that the light comes from the other side.
Oh, I am also not sure, Mataji. If anybody is sure, as far as I understand, I thought he has created the original sun, which is there in this material universe. That was my understanding. Because still Brahma was born, there was darkness, and Brahma starts creating. And I was thinking also, I had also confusion whether Brahma creates the sun or it is from Maharaj Priyavrata. I'm not sure. I need to check. I think it is given in Bhagavatam. We need to check the reference.
Chapter only it comes, Prabhu. In this chapter only it comes. And yesterday also I asked that question. They said, no, he doesn't create second sun. But
Okay.
I heard that it is like second son, but I don't know, Prabhu. Just
Okay. I will just try to check out. In case I get, I'll share the reference, Mataji. Some details you need to see the reference.
thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Any other devotees?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandas Pranams. Vanamali Prabhu, very nice, wonderful session. Thank you so much. So many takeaways, so many examples. Madhur Vada was I think that was a killer. So thank you so much. So you're asking about reflections. So I was reflecting and I realized that I only have an experience of buying Madhur Vada. So what can I share here? So Prabhu, just one, this thing, just to get the churn a little bit. Which is more important? Is it sadhana or is it mercy, krupa? And how are they interconnected?
Yeah, very nice. Thank you for this, bringing that point. So, as we learn from the Damodar Leela, the two-finger story, that one finger points out the endeavor, second is the mercy. So generally, we hear devotees, oh, Guru Maharaj mercy is there, Krishna's mercy is there, Vaishnava's mercy is there. But the mercy is not unconditional always. Even Krishna gives that conditionally. Even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is more magnanimous than Krishna, tells to Jagai and Madai that you should not repeat the sins. I can take away all the sins, but he puts a condition. What to speak of Krishna, that Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. The condition is very high. And Srila Prabhupada, the most merciful devotee, who tells that you have no qualification, I have made your qualification. So coming down to the Vaishnavas, the pure devotees, who are the most magnanimous agents to give that mercy to us, even they have requested that one has to at least follow the four regulative principles, chant 16 rounds. So there is no doubt as far as our endeavor is concerned, which will attract the mercy. Even our whatever is written in our material fortune, it is said that it will not come unless we do the minimum endeavor. Whatever is written in the nasib, even materialistic, this much money, this much fame, will not come if we just sit in a sofa. We have to work, we have to put the minimum endeavor. But over endeavor is not recommended, because over endeavor will not bring more fortune. Similarly, but this doesn't work in spiritual standards. Spiritually, one can endeavor more and draw more mercy. So it is said that the endeavor goes up and the mercy comes down. So now when it comes to causeless mercy, this is also very nicely explained by one of the devotee, that how much causeless is the causeless mercy. So he gives the example of a subject where one has to had 50% marks for passing, 50 out of 100, let's say. So he gets 45. So he is not eligible to pass. He has to repeat the exam unless the teacher gives him 5 marks. For what reason? For no reason. That is why that 5 marks is a causeless mercy. But why that causeless mercy comes to that 45%, 45 marks fellow? It comes because he has done endeavor to get 45 marks at least. 5 marks is not given to person who scores 20 marks. He will be repeated. He will be a repeater. He has to again appear for the exam. So similarly, that 45 marks has achieved the causeless mercy. This is the understanding of causes. So even causeless mercy is not fully causeless in that understanding. So we have to do our minimum endeavor, and 2 crore worth commodity is being given us for 200 rupees in the form of the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The topmost thing, Krishna Prema, is being given to the most fallen people of Kali Yuga. So now we cannot tell that I don't have 200 rupees, please make it 20 rupees. We don't sit and bargain. So there we have to earn that 200 rupees and pay the price. So in this understanding, although 2 crore rupees has become 200, which is a causeless thing, which is mercy. But now this mercy we have to endeavor. This is my humble understanding.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you. Makes so much sense. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Vanamali Govinda Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Shri Balaji Das here. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Wonderful churning, Prabhuji, especially on this auspicious occasion of Srila Nityam Das Thakur Disappearance Day, which is today. So very apt discussion points, Prabhuji, and nicely you have churned. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for reminding. I did not notice that. I mean, Suratkal here, I missed out that. But yeah, I could have spoken something on that also, Narottam Das Thakur.
Now
Hare
we can
Krishna.
refer next Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu, Vanamali Prabhu. Very nice to hear your voice after a long time.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, the one seriously hits my mind is that, how to tell no. So there is a lot of guts required to say no. Whenever there is a good opportunity, that means a very, very rare opportunity comes also, we should say no. That needs a lot of guts, Prabhu. That guts come from only when we have this very, very strong spiritual backup. So this is what my understanding. But whatever the way you have explained about telling no, when you are coming out of the railway station, that is a very, very simple example, but it has got a deeper philosophy, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I am very inspired by the humility of Ashokatma Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
He is very, like Priyavrata Maharaj is very much exalted. Prabhuji is also very having a high stature in the material field, so-called, but still he has a very humble demeanor. He comes to the temple, he wishes everybody, he has a very great service attitude. Thank you, Ashokatma.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So just 4 minutes are there. Should we discuss something about Narottam Das Thakur, or we can end here?
We can talk about 5 minutes about Nityam Das Thakur.
So what in this context, like today, we see that how Narottam Das Thakur is trying to get mercy from his spiritual master, Loknath Goswami, that he is trying to offer menial services and waiting to get initiated by him. And he patiently does that menial service. So these menial services are very, very important for us, especially those who have so-called white collar services of giving class or managerial services. They feel, and menial service has its own connotation. Menial service is not that just doing jhadu pocha or cleaning toilets. It is said that for those who are engineers, cutting vegetables in kitchen is a menial service, because cook devotee will tell, "Aise mat kato." Engineer ho kitna nahi pata. So that will little bit hurt his ego, but it will be good if he can tolerate. But for a devotee who is expert in cooking, but not so much in philosophy, make him sit on a Vyasasana and he will feel little uncomfortable. Oh. So whatever makes our ego come down, that is menial service. So it is not the menial service, but it is a menial service attitude which can purify us and keep us very guarded and grounded. So Narottam Das Thakur's example is very apt, and that is how Srila Prabhupada told that his Vaishnava songs are as good as scriptures. So that is an amazing contribution apart from his songs and his singing capacity. And lastly, just one thing which I wanted to share about was, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu kept the Krishna Prem for him in Padma river, His Grace Amrinder Prabhu shares that Srila Prabhupada has kept the Krishna Prem in his purports. So Narottam Das Thakur will, when he will drown in the Padma river, he will get the Krishna Prem. And similarly, if we drown in Srila Prabhupada's purports, where all the Krishna Prem is hidden, then we will also get similar Krishna Prem as how Narottam Das Thakur received. So reading Prabhupada books is very much emphasized, knowledge part, because even in service, while doing service, how to do and how to safeguard ourselves. Prabhupada's books and Prabhupada's letters also. In case we have been through the Prabhupada books, Prabhupada's letters give very down-to-earth practical guidance, where we can understand. Like sometimes he tells that ringing bell in Mayapur and Vrindavan temples will automatically make sure that how the management is going. So he emphasized on ringing bell. Today also in Vrindavan, Mayapur, every half an hour the bell rings, or when 3 o'clock, 3 bell rings. So he has not only this, many such minute things he has guided to many devotees at different times, where we can get good practical guidance for grahasthas, for brahmacharis, for managers, etc. Thank you very much. I think we can pause here. Already 8:14. And thank you very much for giving this opportunity. And please forgive me. And please give some